What's up, everyone? Dan here, and as many of you probably know now, it's been a little over 2 weeks now since I got my iPhone 5, since I got it for Christmas, and I thought now would be just the perfect time to give you guys my review on it. So, without further ado, let's do this. First off, I just want to talk to you guys about how much I love the design of this thing. And before getting to that, the first thing many of you are probably going to notice when you get your iPhone 5 is that when you pick it up, it's just so much lighter than the previous 4 and 4S. And the design here is excellent as well. And Apple has just always been a pioneer in design, and the iPhone 5 is absolutely no exception. So, before I go on and talk about anything else, I'm going to give you guys a look around the phone. On the top here, as you can see, things have changed a little bit. We now only have the sleep-wake button here at the top. I can get my camera to focus. Oh well. The sleep-wake button still at the top, but the headphone jack, which used to be right there, is now down at the bottom. On the left side, things haven't changed much really. We still have our same profile switch for ring and vibrate, and the volume up and down buttons. Then the bottom, this is where most of the changes have happened. The headphone jack is now there. Then we have our microphone, new lightning connector, and a speaker. And as you can see, these bottom grills have gotten a facelift from the previous 4 and 4S design, so that is really nice. I just think it looks awesome in conjunction with the lightning connector and headphone jack. Then on the right side, we have our new nano SIM tray, and I'm just curious as to how small it actually is. As you can see, I can't really remove it right now because I have an in-case snap case on. So there you have it. Then finally, in the back here, we have our 8 megapixel camera with the crystal sapphire lens cover, a microphone, and LED flash. And as you can see, the LED flash is more separated from the camera now, so hopefully that can reduce the lens flare. And I've actually taken a couple pictures myself, and I've been very impressed with the results as compared to my previous 4. Because I didn't have the 4S, I didn't get to take advantage of the 8 megapixel camera before, but just take my word for it, this camera takes awesome pictures. And finally, here in the front, we had the front-facing camera right above the earpiece now. Before it was right here on the side, but now that's replaced by the ambient light sensor, which you obviously can't see on the black version. Then finally, we have the home button. So as you can see, this is an entirely new design, and the one thing I just absolutely love about it is that the all glass back design is now gone. As you can see now, it is just a two-tone back, and sorry about the fingerprints, my case is just a freaking fingerprint magnet, so don't mind that. So now the only parts of the phone, on the back at least, that have glass are this top and bottom strip. And as you can see now, it is a nice two-tone design. And that's what gives this color name, the black and slate, its name. Because it's black on these strips, and then it's more like a slate aluminum color for where the Apple logo and iPhone are. And also, as you can see, with this new design for the iPhone 5, for the bands on the side going along the sides of the phone, they are now colored keyed depending on which color you have. So, as you can see, all these buttons and even everything down to the lightning port and headphone jack are now color keyed to match the phone. And for the white color of this phone, this back will be white glass in the top and bottom and a more silver look in the center. So that's pretty nice. Alright, enough talking about the design. Let's actually get into software to phone. So as you can see here in the home screen, nothing much has changed besides the fact now that you have a little more screen real estate with the screen being stretched out to 4 inches. Yeah, essentially they just made the screen taller and not wider. So there you have it. So I'm now just gonna unlock this. Oops. Alright, so now I'm gonna show you some of the, like after just showing you some of the basic software, which is basically unchanged since, or has basically been unchanged since iOS's and iPhone's launch in 2007. So here we go. So the only thing that's new here about the software on the iPhone 5 is that you get an extra row of icons. The features that you also get on the 4S, such as turn-by-turn navigation, panorama, and Siri, also come here to the 5. So I'll show you an example of where this extra screen real estate will come in handy. So I'm just going to open up messages, and I'll pull it away here for a second in case anyone's number comes up. Oops. There we go. So I'll just do a random message to, I'm actually not going to send it. So as you can see, the space here where messages would come up when you actually have a conversation with another person is slightly bigger, so that's pretty nice. And then when you rotate it here to the side, as you can see, the keyboard size is about the same, but the thing I really don't like is that you get this little bit of dead space on each end of the keyboard. I thought it would have been nice if Apple would have actually stretched that out so it would have been able to take advantage of this whole 4-inch screen, but hey, it is what it is. But typing on this thing is actually pretty nice and pretty responsive thanks to the new dual-core A6 processor. I believe it's clocked at about 1 gigahertz or so. I may be wrong about that. I think it's actually a little underclocked, but still it's pretty powerful. And now, let's see, what else do I want to show you? Okay, another thing I'll show you is how the screen real estate comes into play with browsing on the web. So I'm just going to launch Google Chrome here, and then I'll go to YouTube, and this will be a good chance for me to show you how fast the LTE speeds are too. So yep, as you can see, that is just blazing fast. Because yep, I have a full 5 bars of AT&T LTE, and it's just very nice. So with the exception of that loading taking a little while, as you can see, things are pretty fast. Alright, what else do I want to show you? Oh, I also want to show you how this new camera works. So I'll just take a picture of my wall over here. Alright. So now this camera is really not going to do it justice, but as you can see, that's a pretty decent quality photo, so that's nice. And another thing I love about iOS is the ability to, I had to do it this way first actually, is the ability to swipe back and forth between your pictures and your live camera. So that's pretty nice. Oh, and as you can see also, there's a new big camera button that's only available on the iPhone 5. And up here for options, you still have the same grid and HDR options, but now on the 5, as well as the 4S, you get this new panorama option. So if I press this, it'll show move the iPhone continuously while taking a panorama, and then it'll show this photo and the arrow, which you have to keep on the center line in order to do the perfect panorama. I'm only doing this with one hand here, so I'm going to try and do my best to demonstrate how panorama works. So here we go. And you just have to move very slowly. So that's a partial panorama. I've done full ones before, and they've actually turned out pretty nice. So there you have it. I'm just gonna delete that quick. So let's get out of that now. And let's see, what else should I show you? I guess I could show you how music looks on here, even though it's just slightly taller and everything. But other than that, nothing much has really changed there. But I think one of the last things I'll do before I go over my pros and cons of the iPhone 5 is do a quick speed test for you guys of the LTE. So begin test. So as you can see, we're getting some phenomenal speeds here. AT&T doesn't have an exact estimate of their LTE speeds, but at least here in my market, which is Milwaukee, I'm getting a speed, at least according to speed test, of 50.93 down and 14.97 up. So as you can see, those are some very fast speeds, and they're even faster than what I can get here on my Wi-Fi. So yeah, that's pretty awesome. Oh, and if you didn't notice, this app, as you can see, is not yet fully optimized for the iPhone 5, and because of that, you'll see black bars on the top and bottom, and it'll basically run as if you're running it on an iPhone 4 or 3GS, 4 or 4S, with 3.5-inch screen size. So developers still have some work to do with some of their apps in terms of optimizing for the iPhone 5 screen size, but to me it's not that big a deal seeing an app running like this that hasn't been optimized for the iPhone 5 yet, because the black spots aren't as noticeable on the black version of the iPhone 5 as they are on the white one, so no problem there. Alright, so that's basically most of my feature reviews, or my review of software here on the iPhone 5, because again, it's basically the same thing as you get on any other iPhone, only with an extra row of icons now. So there you have it. Oh, also another thing I want to mention, my TweetDeck's going crazy in the background. This speaker here in the iPhone 5 is much louder than it was on the previous 4 and 4S, so that's another thing worth noting. I really can't test it out too much though, because I don't want to get a copyright strike on my account. So there you have it. So overall, I just freaking love my iPhone 5, as you can tell. So now to close off this video, I'm going to do my pros and cons for the iPhone 5. My first pro of the iPhone 5 is, of course, this slightly bigger 4-inch screen. Sure, it won't match up to the giant screens of the absolutely huge Galaxy Note 2 and some other giant phones that are coming out, but it'll suffice. 3.5 inches was just getting too small for me, and I thought Apple was long overdue for making their screen bigger on the iPhone. So that's a nice change. Another thing I really like is just how light Apple's made the iPhone 5. It's just so impressive because of all the stuff packed into here, like the 8 megapixel camera, the dual core A6 processor chipset, and everything else that makes the iPhone 5 work. So Apple is just really good at doing that, so I really praise them for that. And also on the topic of talking about the design, or say it being so light, the design is just very nice too, because the glass back is all gone except for the top and bottom, and I love the I love the color keyed elements for the bands of the phone. So there you go. And my final two pros for the iPhone 5 are the A6 processor. Things just load much faster, and certain games I played on my iPhone 4, like Crazy Taxi and some other games, are basically lag and stutter free now. So thank God for that. And finally, my last pro for the iPhone 5 is its 8 megapixel camera here in the back. Oh, and also forgot to mention the front facing camera here. This front facing camera now can record in 720p and is much better quality than it was with the VGA resolution camera on the 4 and 4S. Alright, now to move on to my cons. This isn't exactly a con, but I don't know why Apple decided to move the headphone jack. Focus. Focus, camera. Okay, it's deciding not to focus, but you get the idea. I don't know why Apple decided to move the headphone jack from the top here to the bottom, but I guess it's just going to have to be something to get used to. And to be honest, it's not that big of a deal, but I just don't see why Apple had to move the headphone jack to the bottom. And because of that, that's kind of a slight con to the iPhone 5, but it's not a deal breaker at all. So overall, if I were to give the iPhone 5 a rating on a scale of 1 to 5, I would have to give it a solid 4.5, just because of the headphone jack being at the bottom. But other than that, it's the perfect phone. And I think it's the best iPhone Apple has made to date. So, thank you guys for watching this rather long review of the Apple iPhone 5. So, if you want to give your thoughts on the iPhone 5, if you have one yourself, please be sure to post it in your thoughts in the comment section below. Or if you want to, you can even do it as a video response. I'll take either. Oh, also something else I forgot to mention before. In terms of capacity I got for the iPhone 5, I got the 32GB one, and I think it's just a perfect amount of storage. 16 was not enough for me, as I filled my 4 up pretty fast, and 64 is just kind of overkill for me. So I think 32GB is just a sweet spot for storage needs for me. So there you have it. One last thing to mention before I close out this video. I now have changed my Twitter username. It used to be Dan the Comp Man, as most of you know, but now I changed it to WildFan from Wisconsin. That's WildFan from WI. And you can find me on Twitter at twitter.com/the net username. You can't search me right now yet because I made the change so recently, but probably by the time this video goes up, you will be able to search for me. So there you have it. Also, I have a link for my Twitter profile in the description, so you can still find me. Alright, now that is it for my review on the Apple iPhone 5. So, without rambling anymore, I will see you guys later. Peace.